Alright, so in this video, I'm going to talk about how you build a revenue generating email list and having great subscribers that just buy from you every single time. So right now, your e-commerce store is actually leaving serious money on the table if you're not doing strategic list growth. Because in 2025, here's what you're up against. 90 to 97% of visitors, they leave your store without making a purchase. You spend so much money, you spend so much budget, spend so many time on getting traffic to the site, and just in the e-commerce world, I'd beg to differ actually, like around 95 to 98% actually just leaves on average, but some stores do have a great conversion rate and they're really primed for conversion. So yeah, take it with a grain of salt. But your competitors, they're stealing your customers you pay to actually acquire because they sign up to your email list, they unsubscribe the moment they actually got what they the offer that you offer them, right? 10% free gift, 2 for 1, whatever it is, they're off immediately afterwards and they're going over to your competitors. And actually, what's really interesting is that the CPAs have increased 43% year over year. And that's because the competition on the paid ads are getting way, way higher. Just think of meta ads in the past 5 years. Now think of Google, think of TikTok and whatever. That's what you're up against. So what most brands don't understand is that email is just not another marketing channel. It is your most predictable revenue driver. When I mean predictable, you can do a calculation, say if I get this many visitors on my site and I convert X amount of percentage and my conversion rate is, that means when I send 100 emails out, I will get this much of revenue. So it's predictable, right? But you can't send emails to people who aren't on your list, logically. So the difference between brands struggling to break even on their ad spend and those generating consistent 30 to 40, 50% of revenue from email comes down to their list growth strategy. List growth is so essential in your total email marketing mix because it is the basis and the fundamental for you generating a lot of actual revenue, but also having great relationship with your customers. And I think it's a bit overseen. I'm JP. I'm the co-founder of Marketing. Actually, my name is Jeppe Schroeder, if you want to say it in English. We transform email marketing from neglected afterthought into a serious profit center, generating millions in extra revenue for e-commerce brands across Scandinavia and in the world. Here's my pretty little face outside a pretty school. Here's my social media channels and links you want. And obviously you get access to this Gamma doc so you can hop in and see for yourself. So in this guide, I'll show you exactly how you create high converting pop-up forms that are at least 8 to 12% conversion rate instead of the industry standard of 1 to 3%. Design embedded forms that don't kill your conversion rate and people actually sign up for, and this is very, I want to say underappreciated, but essentially sign-up forms are great. You want to run lead generation ads that actually deliver ROI, not just some ads that people sign up and you never hear from them or they never buy from you. And at last, you want to build a reliable lead magnet engine that actually runs on autopilot to make sure that your list just grows automatically. So I want to turn your website traffic into an asset you own. So the math behind it, I talked a little bit about. So actually, before we dive into the tactics and whatnot, you just need to understand these numbers. So I did a calculation, as I mentioned. This is very easy. If you have 10,000 monthly visitors, your conversion rate is only 1.5% from your pop-up form. You get 150 new, you only get $5,000 in monthly welcome flow revenue. That's only 1,800 subscribers after 12 months, 60,000 in annual welcome flow revenue, right? This is only the welcome flow, just to make this clear. This is not all the other flows or the campaigns you're sending out. Translate that over. If you just change the conversion rate, you get 800 new subscribers. You get 25K more in revenue. You get 9.6 thousand more and 300K just in welcome flow revenue. The math is mathing. You need to do this, all right? So just a little visual. If you have a weak revenue impact, a poor list growth, not gonna do this great. You have weak revenue, limited audience reach, because you're already doing a lot of things, right? You're already paying for the ads all your time to get all of the traffic. Just please make this a strategy that you're going to implement in your mix. So yeah, difference staggering, right? Same traffic, completely different business outcomes. What most brands don't realize is that new subscribers is actually worth around $33 just in year one, and that's just an average across industries in the e-commerce world, right? So when you do the math, that means 650 more subscribers, 21K more revenue, 260K annual revenue, and that's for the same traffic. let me highlight this. It's for the same traffic you're already paying for, either with your time or your money. So think about that. You're already spending the monthly or the money to get the visitors all the time. So the difference is just tweaking your list growth that can add this much more monthly revenue. That's insane, absolutely insane. So the front line of this growth is that pop-up forms are your first line of defense against losing visitors forever. But actually most brands get them wrong, and this is actually, I can show you real quick in a Klaviyo account I have here. What you see, let's see, what I can just change this. Yes, perfect. So what we have here is actually without a discount code, is what it says in Danish, without a discount code. That's 1.5%. 1.5%. We only offer the discount code. Compare that to the 14% we have up here, which is just a 10% off. And if you can't offer 10% off on your first purchase, you might have another problem that's a business problem, because that customer is going to buy from you hopefully again and again and again if you do this correctly. And then we have, this is actually a sign-up form, or sorry, another pop-up form that we have. So we split testing on some different kind of things, but you see the difference that, you know, this makes sense to actually think about. So poorly designed pop-up forms are actually just, it's a killer. You don't want them to be very, very small. You don't want them to have a weak offer, and you don't want them to have so many fields that the customer has to click by click by click by click. You want to do it strategically, and I'm going to show you. So most pop-ups, they fail because they ask for too much information. Could be a lot of different things, and it could be asking email, asking the phone number, asking the name, asking the birthday and the blood type and so on in the first step. Don't do that. Just ask for the email in the first step, and then if they want to, you already have micro committed the customer. If you want more information, just give them the chance after you've gotten the email. Second off is actually having these week offers. This is maybe the most important. The ones that are doing this, join our newsletter and be the first one to know, is absolutely catastrophical. You shouldn't do this offer. You should have at least some, I don't know, you have a indirect offer in this. Maybe you have a club that they can save or save up points to buy your products or whatever, right? Don't do the join our newsletter. The trick at the wrong timing, is either immediately or after they're gone. We've seen that around like 12 to 20 seconds, it's perfect. Some might say 6 to 8 seconds. Again, depends on the case. We've tried it, 6 seconds. Some of the customers are like, well, your pop-ups are annoying, and they don't sign up, right? So that's why sometimes we can have 14, 2%, 18%, and sometimes you get 1.5%, right? So it's about testing. Generic templates that don't match your brand. I see a lot of people just having the standard. They have a picture over here, and then they have the offer over here, which is just, don't do it. Match it to your brand in what you're also trying to convey. If they have too much text, actually nobody reads a lot of text. I know you want to say a lot of things, but just keep it to one simple point. And you make it too easy to close with a lot of highlighted X button. Close that, like make it minimal. Make it minimal. You have to get these people to sign up, right? So the anatomy of a good converting pop-up form is a compelling offer, single step approach, as I mentioned. Don't do everything at once, perfect timing. We like to say 12, 20 seconds. The size and the positioning, and it's just a clean design. That will make your pop-up convert. So for example, what is a compelling offer? Well, as I said, is the most important thing. If you have a low AOV that's below $100, do the discount percent, like 10, 15%, whatever you can give on the first purchase. You can also make it if they buy above X amount of products in your store. Play around with it a little bit. If you have a high AOV, do the dollar discount. Don't do the percentage discounts, because the math actually makes it more appealing. If you don't want to run any discounts at all, you can give some value. You can give free shipping, entry to a giveaway. It really depends on this in terms of what you can give. But just think of it. If you can convert a customer you already spend your paid ads on with a 10% discount code, and you're going to sell to this person again and again and again, that probably makes it worth it in the long run, right? So the single step approach, one field at a time. Just ask for the email first, as I mentioned, then you can ask for other things afterwards. Perfect timing, 8 to 15% is like the standard pop-up form. Some cases we do 20 seconds, as I mentioned. Some cases we do 10 seconds. Just play around, see what you can actually get by with, and actually ask your customers what they think of your pop-up form, right? You can also do the exit intent. Again, depends on which kind of products you sell and so on. And again, test it out. The size, we like to say bigger is almost always better. It's really rare that a pop-up form that's very small actually converts. So you want to do 75% of the screen, and the desktops just make it pop out so they can't miss it. Clean design, under 10 words of copy. As I mentioned, just do one simple thing. Don't try to cram in a lot. I know you want to say a lot, don't do it. Save that for your emails. And the offer should be your element. That's what should be highlighted, right? Don't use the X button. Say something like, no thanks, I'd like to pay full price, or something like that. So just a real world example here. Maybe I can zoom a bit actually. Taking one of our US client, that this was the pop-up form in the beginning. So as I mentioned, a picture and then the offer. This is straight up what we have here. And then we changed it a little bit just to play around. And you can see that this is a cleaner design. It's a mystery discount. I don't have the exact answer to why a mystery discount performs better than a 10% off, but we imagine that it's a better and cleaner looking design. You got a mystery discount. This is what is really being highlighted, and they'll be like, oh, mystery discount, what is that? What is that? So that was 8.9% conversion rate, which is really great. Just from a few tweaks, you can see it doesn't really take up that much time to do this, right? So it's fairly easy to play around with this and do different kind of things. So I mentioned a bit about the micro commitment, but essentially it is, again, if you want to push a offer directly and you want to get some zero-party data or first-party data for your clients or customer service, one of the most effective strategies is to introduce the micro commitment, because instead of asking directly for the email, you can ask a simple yes and no question. So for example, here it is in terms of the coffee brand, Notting Hill. This is not us, just to make it clear, just an example that we found. We do this with some of our fashion clients or skincare clients that are selling products that we can really tap into. So for example, in the fashion, are they looking for more stylish, colorful, muscle fit? Is it comfort? Whatever it could be, do a micro commitment. Because when somebody has clicked once, they're more inclined to actually finish it rather than asking a lot of different questions. So again, for skincare, do you have dry skin? Do you have acne? Do you have I don't know, greasy skin? Whatever it could be. Again, a micro commitment, right? So that's just how it works. So present a simple yes, no. Do you want 15% off? Yes. Do you want access? Yada, yada, yada. So after they clicked, I mean, they almost always do. After they've done this, then you can also ask for the email. Mention here, you can also do it straight up, first name, email address. But again, play around with it. Do a lot of, this is the first test that we've done for one of our clients, of new clients. You want to test a lot of different things. So there's some consistency bias, as I mentioned. Once they've said something, or once they said yes, they're more likely to say it again. There's also a curiosity gap. They see what happens after clicking. It's the same with the you got a mystery discount. It sparks curiosity and so on, right? And the last thing is the investment they've already made, because they're like, okay, now I did this, might as well just finish it, right? So it could be 150% off your order today. Yes, please, make that large. Make this the headline. Make this the highlighter, right? And the secondary could be like, no thanks. As I mentioned before, I'd just like to prefer full price or pay full price. So where should we send it? Give me your email, give my discount, we respect your privacy, no spam, whatever. And if you want to do a pro tip here, we've tested this a lot. Making the no options slightly humorous. No thanks, I hate savings. Something like this, as I mentioned, no thanks, I want to pay full price. No thanks, I hate discounts. No thanks, whatever. Just play around with it. Humor actually sells, if you might have guessed. So what is the strategy for high value products? A welcome mat is a full page takeover. As I mentioned, it just covers almost the whole screens. Unlike like a standard pop-up, it doesn't feel like interruption because it's the first thing that the visitor sees. So for premium brands that have an AOV over 150, we actually found that the more it actually fills up, it actually outperforms. And our theory is it works because it eliminates all distractions. It's not an interruption, it's an introduction, and it establishes brand positioning just immediately. Because it's also a higher perceived value, the full paid experience feels like premium. It's not like a small thing. Also, when you're pushing high products, selling high products, we just seen that this works actually. So make it immediately, not immediately, but again, like wait a couple of seconds, right? Full screen takeover, focus on the value beyond discounts, because when you're selling premium products, discounts are more seen of like a lesser higher value perception. So don't introduce discounts unless you have a great offer, right? You could do the exclusive access, early product drop, but again, this depends on very few cases. But again, make the exit option clear, continue to side button beside your email capture, frequency once per visitor with a 30-day cookie. Don't show it every single time they visit the page. And the key insight here is that high-end customers don't want to be interrupted with pop-ups, but they will engage with what feels like an intentional brand experience. And when you're selling premium products, you want them to experience the brand, right? That's why your products are so much more expensive than other products, right? That's the brand experience. So pros and cons about this: it creates focus, feels attention, sets a tone, perceived value, non-intrusive. The cons are when you're making this huge pop-up form, it could annoy some people. Maybe some people are not engaging as much. There is some design complexity, and it's a high initial setup cost, and it requires strict timing. But try these out. Just see what works and test them. There's no case and there's no client or niche that is the same, right? So if we go beyond pop-ups, they typically drive the highest conversion rate, but there's actually more about this. So the footer sign up, we all have this on different kind of places. Down way at the bottom, there's a footer sign up. Simple, is all visible. It doesn't really generate that many signups compared to your pop-up forms. You can do end of blog posts, you can do sidecar forms, you can do it on your product page form. This works actually really great, especially for a back-end stock float or a product update. And you can also do it on your hero section. So just a couple of different things for you to see. I won't go too much into detail here because you'll get the gamma doc afterwards, so all good here. But most important thing to say, they should complement your pop-up strategy. You shouldn't replace it. You need all of these. You don't need only a footer sign up or only a blog post or only on your product page. You need all of these, right? So play a little bit around with it because the goal is to create as much as possible for your list growth, right? If you run a lead magnet strategy, it's value first for the list building. So some industries, especially those with a high consideration purchase, but the customer journey is a little bit longer, offering like genuine value before asking for the sale actually increases the list quality. But you also, the pros and cons here is that they might not buy, they might buy, so they are on your email list, but if they don't engage with your emails, you just remove them with time, right? So offer, get them to subscribe, right, and then convert them into a customer. So you can do a lot of different things. You can do some quizzes, you can do PDF guides and checklists, you can do a calculator tool for example, if you're finished, if you want to lose weight and whatnot. Do a video series maybe, if you have a very complex product. You could also do the free sample, the free trial, just, yeah, whatever works for your case, right? So you want to create some content that solves a specific problem. So must address a real pain point. You should be immediately actionable. It shouldn't be like, oh, this is going to work if you do X, Y, and Z. That like, please don't do it fluffed. Bang on. Just continue to, or sorry, just give something immediately actionable and don't waste their time. It's essentially, and you want to position your product as the next logical step. You also want to deliver value before selling. We've heard this before. Don't sell immediately, but provide the promised content immediately. Follow up with some nurture sequence and transition your product offer only after delivering value. This is essentially what we do. So in our case, our company, we don't sell immediately. There's a lot of value being delivered before we actually do something, right? So the fundamental principle, when you help people solve a problem for free, they're more likely to trust you with your money later. So it could be an example here. This is a weight blanket. Here's a small quiz. You can see the questions being asked. They get a lot of data here, actually a lot of data. And then they get the offer at last. This is, you get really high intent and get really engaging subscribers on your list. You might not get as many, but you get really, really good data on your customers. So yeah, just an example. Now the offsite list building is a bit different. As I mentioned in the beginning, you could do some lead ads and whatnot. So on-site conversion should be your foundation. You could complement this with offsite, such as Facebook, Instagram. And again, you want to introduce a lead magnet. Maybe it could be the discount at first. Again, play around with this. There's no straight line of what works or not. You want to do something value-based because that does reduce your CPA or your sign-ups to getting these leads by 30 to 50%. Do some style guides, product selectors, exclusive content. It could be a product launch if you want to gather a list for your product launch or whatever. You want to simplify the form field, so each field increases cost per lead by 25 to 35%. You want to stick to email first name only. This is just for getting people on your list and then trying to sell them later on. If you want higher intent leads, for example, as I just showed you here, you can introduce a lot of different questions. So it has pros and cons, right? But you especially want to do the audience targeting. So sometimes you can use lookalike audience, and what I mean is that take a CSV file of your total customers. There's a lot of customers and a lot of data. Upload that to meta ads, do a lookalike audience based on your current customers. That's another thing. Also, meta ads, that's a completely different conversation if you're running abroad with a lot of different kind of creatives and so on. If you do some interests, if you do, I don't know, X, Y, and Z, right? But the lookalike audience for your current customers, actually, we've seen it work really well. And you also want to exclude existing customers so they don't actually sign up again, because that doesn't make sense, right? And then you want to do maybe some interest targeting. Again, if you do meta ads, you can do an Advantage Plus campaign, set up some of these exclusions and just push the right content and the right offer and the right copy. You can also do the manual thing where you set this up with a lot of different ad sets to target different kind of people. But again, meta broad or niche down, that's your case. I'm not going over meta ads in this field right here. I'll do this in another video. So testing framework, you always want to test and optimize. One and done approaches to list building, they just fail. You want to always test different kind of offers and different types of designs and whatnot. I'm not going too much over into detail this, but essentially offer is, again, the most important thing to actually think about when you're creating this. So do the percent discount, do the dollar discount, do the non-discount, do a standard popper, do a two-way step, do the welcome mat as I showed you, test it 5, test it 15, do the exit if you move your mouse up here through the exit, test the designs, test the copy. You want to test a lot of different things. So just an example here, run a A/B split test. It's not a real massive difference here, as you can see, but there was one test that beat the other, right? So at least that's really, really great. You want to do always do the testing. And please don't waste your new subscribers. List building doesn't end actually just when you've captured the lead and they signed up. You want to introduce the subscribers to the welcome flow, because this is where the journey starts, right? You now converted them. Now you want to be able to sell to them once and then twice and thrice and so on. So just take that into mind when you're working with list growth building, that it doesn't stop when they've signed up, right? So you want to have the welcome flow, and then you want to do the segmentation. You want to do engaging campaigns. Want to have a win-back strategy if they actually don't buy, and you want to remove them if they just signed up but they never actually really did anything. And in never did anything, I mean they haven't opened your email, they haven't clicked, they haven't done anything at all, right? So for new subscribers, you want to aim for 60% and an 8% conversion rate, because they are hot, they are warm, they are ready to buy right here, right now. And then obviously that falls later on as much or as many new emails you send, because they're not as hot anymore. They have just bought from your store, right? So you want to do at least 25-35% of your subscribers that purchase on your first, and that is in the welcome flow. Again, I'll actually just show you here, just to give you a. All right, we can do this because it's the wrong one. Placed order. Yeah, let's do this. This is a welcome series. If you show analytics, I can't see if they have done. Yeah, so 16%. Just from the last 30 days. What's that? So that's 5.5 thousand. That's a great number just for the welcome series, right? So yeah, you want to have these to subscribe, and then you can go in and build out your series. You see down here, 18K is actually good for the, and this is a reminder, and then some people are buying here, but this is more of like brand introduction. We're not really pushing them to buy. That's more for the campaigns and the other flows. So just remember, I'll actually put this like, need at least 15%. If you have below 15%, you're kind of, you're not fucked, but not doing a great job. And that's just for the first email in the welcome series. So implement all of this. 30-day plan. Day 1, audit current list building I can never say the words, mechanisms, I don't know. Analyze the first test results. You want to develop lead magnets for value-based acquisition. Launch some of these meta lead generation campaigns if you have enough budget. Otherwise, just do it on site and implement some of the other stuff as the pop-up, sign up, product page, and the footer and whatnot. So week 1, do this. Week 2, do this. Week 3, do this. Week 4, this is where it gets fun and scale, because you get a lot of traffic and you can just see the conversion rate really getting better and better, and you see all the new ones. So this is actually, I don't know why it's like this. You want to do this because you want to track, obviously you want to track things if you know you're doing something right. Perfect. So what's the conclusion here? Build a high-performing email list isn't about tricks or hacks. You have to systematically implement proven strategies that capture visitors before they leave your site forever, because you already spend money or you spend time on generating this traffic, right? The brands that win, they're doing all of this, and they can actually scale the ad spend because they know they have a fundamental ecosystem for the email and SMS marketing that keeps the customer to buy and buy again. So just 1% will actually make a lot of progress and a lot of success. And can you move from 3% sign-up rate to 8% sign-up rate? You saw the math behind this. It's worth to invest in this. Don't leave this just to chance. Implement this framework and watch your email and SMS marketing and your LTV actually transform. So do all of this, as I just mentioned. Do your first A/B test. If you can't run a straight up offer with discount, do something else. Play around with your colleagues in terms of what you can offer. And if you want to talk email with me, you want help with anything about this, book a call down here. If you're doing at least 50K monthly revenue, I'd love to speak with you. It's not a necessity if you do 50K, if you do a little bit less below, trending upwards, you're growing, book a call anyways, right? But yeah, that's it for actually the build a revenue generating email list. If you find this, what I'm trying to say, if you find this good to know, good tips and tricks, leave a comment and whatnot. But other than that, thank you for watching and peace.